Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. When it comes to Microsoft and Apple, it's really easy for people to hate on them, especially people in the Linux community. And so today, I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to be as objective as possible and then talk about the things that I actually love about Microsoft and Apple. Now, these are all my own thoughts and opinions, and so if you don't agree with them, that's your opinion. And so let's go ahead and start off with the first thing that I really do love about Microsoft and Apple, and that is their businesses. Now, I don't agree with everything that they do and how they run their business. As a matter of fact, there are things that I absolutely hate about how they operate. However, there's no denying that these companies have been around for 30 plus years. They've made billions of dollars, and so they truly are successful companies. But more important than that, just think about the impact that they've had on the world. Okay, some people might not agree in that, but if you think about all the billions of jobs that they've created, the industries that they created, and also the long-term impact that they had, not only in previous generations when they started, but also future generations way further. Okay, so they have really helped a lot of people, because without those companies, most people would not be employed today. Most people wouldn't have the skills that they have today as well. And so that's the first thing I think about. They have a huge impact on economies all around the world. The second thing is innovation. Okay, so you're probably thinking like innovation, they're the least innovative companies. They copy everything. But if you think back, did they really copy everything? Or did they also take things that were obscure or not well known and they made it better? Now, these companies have invented a lot of things as well over the years, but what they've primarily done is take ideas and market them a lot better, or made them more user-friendly to the large majority of people. Okay, so a lot of people point back to things like Microsoft, how they basically stole the operating system, and Apple did the same thing from Xerox, right? And so that's something that people will point to. But if you think about it, if those companies did such a great job with something that they actually created, how come they aren't the Microsoft and Apples of the world? Because they weren't the ones who made it better. They weren't the ones who actually made it usable to the rest of the world. And so that is another thing. They are innovative in their own way, and you can't deny that they've had a huge influence on a lot of technology sectors around the world. So things to think about is the personal computer, primarily with Apple. They were really the first ones to bring a personal computer to people in homes versus these big computers that actually existed back then that covered entire rooms. Or even the Apple iPhone. You know, even though we had Android phones around the same time, and we had PDAs and stuff from BlackBerry and stuff before then, before the iPhone, there really wasn't anything like it, you know, in that manner. Okay, so another thing that I do like about the companies, I love about them, is, especially with Apple, this is a love-hate thing, is their ability to market. Their marketing is insane. Now, I myself am a marketer, so I appreciate how well they market, you know, because if you think about why most people buy something, or why most people think that they should buy something or stick with a brand, is because of their marketing. And so it's not really hard for people to associate certain things with the Microsoft and Apple brand just simply by hearing the name or thinking about the colors or the devices that they produce. And then the final thing that I would say that I love about both Microsoft and Apple, and this kind of goes back to what I talked about a little bit earlier, their business sense, is the fact that they're not companies to easily give up. Okay, and that is something that takes a lot of effort, especially with all the competition they have out there in the technology space, and they had for years. They're still fighting. You know, they're not one to actually rest on their laurels for too long. And I know some people will come back and say, well, look at Apple. They've just made the same thing over and over. But it's not like they haven't stopped, you know, growing their business. It's not like they haven't stopped trying to compete. You know, it's just that they take a different angle. And the same thing with Microsoft. You know, with Microsoft, you know, most people would look at their operating system and say, like, even my own self, that's not a great user experience. But at the end of the day, the operating system is used in a lot more places. And like most large technology companies, most of their business is done through other businesses, you know, their corporate clients, you know, not so much so their consumer base. And so that's something I do admire. You know, when companies that are already mega successful, they're still fighting, they're still hungry. And so that is something that I really do appreciate and I really do admire in pretty much any business. And so those are the things that I love about Microsoft and Apple. And I know it's really business centric because that's kind of like how I see things. And I really don't think too much about the emotional aspects of it because that's all related to marketing anyway. And also the technical stuff, you know, the technical stuff changes, you know, and really depends on what you like, okay? And so those things are not long term, okay? And so that is it. If you had any thoughts on it, whether you agree or whether you disagree, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people will, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Gold Content Creators Group, where you'll get access to 30 videos plus additional content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators Group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com. And I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.